Hey guys, so welcome back to 13C. Today we're taking a look at a new inside the waistband holster. It's from CTT Custom and distributed right now exclusively by Chi-Town Tactical. For those of you who are kind of familiar with the stance I've taken on appendix inside the waistband carry, demonstration purposes here. I like to carry, generally, appendix is a little more to the right, but when you're carrying a full-size handgun, similar to this VP9, on someone my frame size, what you wind up encountering is that on a full-size handgun, that frame can move a little bit to the right and stick out just past your side. So what I do is I modify it slightly just by moving it a little closer to the center line. Basically, my belly button is right here, about where the rear sight is. So right midline, and it carries very nicely, presents very nicely, and goes back nicely. There are a number of factors when you're looking at appendix inside the waistband holster that you should consider. The first thing would be your skill level. If you're going to carry appendix inside the waistband, be aware that your jewels are not the only thing down there. That's something that you could live through should the unfortunate event happen. What you're probably not going to live through is hitting your femoral artery. And that's where a negligent discharge can be fatal. So, keeping those things in mind, let's talk about the holster. It's got an excellent clip right here. It's angled so that it goes in and clips on easily, but stays firmly in place. And to me, that's somewhat important if you wind up going in and out of a lot of NPEs or non-permissive environments, be it a post office or, depending on the state you live in, a hospital or your place of employment if it could cost you your job. But in other situations you want to carry a full-size handgun, having something come on and off easily can be a huge help. You also want to make sure that all the edges on your holster, and we'll do some closer up views here once we get inside, possibly depending on how much I can take of this. If you're wondering why I'm so bundled up, it's 5 degrees out here and I'm positioned right on the end of one of these tree lines here just to shade us from the wind a little bit, so hopefully the microphone, the muff on it, and Dead Cat is covering that up good. You want to make sure your edges are all nice and smooth, nothing jagged, and you want to make sure you've got the right amount of tension. Now, you guys may be aware of some of the other appendix inside the waistband holsters and other things I have. Some of them have adjustable tension. This one I opted for not to have adjustable tension because once I get the tension to where I want it, I find I never adjust it once I get that sweet spot. So I contacted the guys at CTT Custom and had them make me a holster that was going to provide some good passive retention, but at the same time not drag so much that you're struggling to get it out of the holster. Basically what you want is something that'll go into place and hold itself without a tremendous amount of shaking. As you can tell, if I shake the hell out of it, it's going to drop out. Keep in mind this is appendix inside the waistband. You're not going, this probably isn't going to be something you're going to go rappelling with or anything else. So for me, that's good enough. It also allows it to present quickly and positively, and you know when it goes right back into place. Some other thoughts to be cognizant of when you're shopping for a holster, in addition to those smooth lines, is how do you want the bottom of your holster here? Here it's got a slight taper on it, which for me, when I carry my handgun, an appendix inside the waistband, what I'm looking for is for the belt line to be exactly where this clip is right here. And that's something that I went over with Jason. He's one of the custom guys over at CTT. And I went over with him exactly where I wanted this clip to be. And that positions it right at the belt line right here, so that when you go to grab the handgun, you can get a full firing grip, and your hands, your fingers have, my fingers at least, you know, I don't have thick fingers, they're long, but they're not, you know, I'm not talking about sausages here on the end of my hands, can go inside the waistband, and right here, So you get a full firing grip on your handgun every single time. That's crucial. If you're carrying, why do you carry? Exactly. You want to be able to defend yourself, save your life, the life of a friend, family member, or anybody else you're trying to save. Getting that full firing grip on your handgun when you come out is going to allow you to help manage recoil better. It's going to get you pointed at a target more naturally because that's how you're used to shooting. The importance of that can't be overstated. Well, when I do that, on a full-size handgun like that, I've got a fairly long torso, I've got a long waist as well, long pelvis, so it isn't so much of a factor for me. But when you're sitting in long car rides, appendix inside the waistband can be great. It allows you to draw quickly, push out to the target properly while you're inside that confined space. But if you don't have this situated just right, either when you're bending over or moving your body, extension, flexion, you can get issues with it pinching either in your abdomen or down in your lower extremities, right where your crease would be when you're sitting in a car. So having something smooth on here like this and tapered in just a little bit but still open at the bottom, you allow yourself that little bit of cushion room so it's not rubbing up against you or anything else. So far, the longest drive I've taken in the car with this is about 2.5 hours, and it was great. I noticed nothing uncomfortable. It's good, and it didn't rub or anything else. It's worked out well so far. So that's your thought there, and then obviously your height as well. For me, it works out perfectly. So those are a couple other considerations to keep in mind. Overall, I'd have to say my impressions of this holster using it over the past several weeks are very positive. I've done probably thousands of dry presentations from this holster, just trying to break it in, make sure it was gonna hold its retention the same way after those initial few draws. It's done great. Also, obviously, it's new. The VP9 is something I just started carrying at the same time I got this holster, so I want to get more familiar with carrying it, presenting it, getting on a target quickly. So I've spent a lot of time, probably more time than I would at a normal holster, simply because I'm actually changing platforms. As you guys know, I was carrying a G19 before this. CTT, right now, one of the reasons why I went with them was their turnaround time right now for production is actually fairly low. It's a couple weeks right now. So that's something that's nice right now. It's hard to get a holster for a VP9, and I'm actually really glad I went with this one. So they can get you hooked up over there. They can G19, G17s, VP9 obviously, and a couple other holsters as they ramp up and tool up on production for these. You'll have more things. You'll be able to contact them if you want to do some custom orders, and of course if you want to order it this way, just mention 13C and they'll give you this exact same one. They can open up the bottom here if you want it closed. They can do it closed. If you want it opened up more, they can open it up more, so that way you can, if you got running a threaded barrel, your threaded barrel will be able to stick out the bottom. Obviously, if you're running a threaded barrel on it, that gives you a little bit more room that you have to be concerned about for when you're carrying appendix inside the waistband when you're sitting down. So just consider that as an option. But if you're going to move it around back, small, off your 4 o'clock, 3.5, you should be pretty good there. They can also, this one's just barely high enough for suppressor sights. If you're running suppressor sights on any of your handguns, make sure when you order your holster, you mention you want this cut high enough for suppressor height sights, and they'll get you taken care of over there as well. Otherwise, thanks so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/gunreviews. If you've got a message to send me, Facebook is one of the best places. That way I actually make sure I can get the message to you in a prompt time. YouTube, feel free to reach out to me there, but sometimes the notifications lag or sometimes they get spammed out. I do my best to try and filter through those every few days and get back to you guys in a timely fashion. Instagram, we have a lot of fun on Instagram, instagram.com/13C gun reviews, and you'll see a lot of behind the scenes stuff and just some other stuff that you won't find here that may or may not be directly related to guns. As you guys know, I'm a huge lover of liberty. That's why I've gotten into this, and everything we do here at the channel is focused on liberty first, and that's it. Otherwise, Shootsteel.com, I picked up this target from them. It's a static target, and you can control the height by putting in different heights 2x4s that you supply yourself, otherwise a stand, and the rest of the mounting hardware and everything you need for it comes with it. So far this thing's been doing really well. I'll have a review of that for you coming up in the future. So thanks again everybody, take care, and we'll see you soon. Thanks again, thanks so much for joining us. Be safe, we'll see you next time.